What's up, Ypsi? It's your friend Darius, and I am back in the studio. It's been a little time since I've been in the studio, so I'm excited about that. Today, we have a special episode. I had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Jerry McMahon. How are you, sir?
Good to see you again.
You as well. Thanks for coming to the show.
Thanks, great to be here.
And before I tell you what our topic is, why don't you give us a little background about yourself, your Ypsilanti ties, your business, all of those things, if you could let our viewers know.
Sure. It's great to be here. This was a great idea, I thought, with this podcast. I watch them on YouTube a lot, and I was like, way to go, you know?
Thank you.
But I came to Ypsilanti after growing up in Plymouth, and I started a painting business here about 35 years ago. So I'm Jerry's
Nice.
Painting.
Nice.
And
Outside, inside, like a commercial, residential?
yes, commercial, residential. I started from nothing, eating peanut butter, not having no work, to having a couple crews working with me or whatever.
Awesome.
And all from Ypsi. I went to Eastern,
Okay.
and then I got into Kiwanis. They were awesome and helped me out a lot. Different networking groups.
And tell us about Kiwanis. What do they do?
Kiwanis. My cousin was in Kiwanis, but
Okay.
Kiwanis is like a community service group, and they are there to help the community. A lot of people in business join it, and then they all work together to help various ways or groups raise money or do services. We used to do services sometime. We used to paint houses for free or what. I used to be
very
like
cool.
do that every year for
Yeah.
a little while, and there's a lot of real nice people there. It's like an
Yeah.
old style, those kind of organizations started in the 30s, and they've kind
Okay.
of really scaled down a lot. You
Sure,
know?
sure, yes.
in the community, but they're designed to help people in the community, and they have like a luncheon and networking groups.
Excellent,
And
yeah.
Rotary's another one,
Mhm.
is a name, you know what
Yeah,
I mean? And
yeah.
people pay their dues every year,
Nice.
and Kiwanis is all over the state. Rotary is all over the state.
Okay,
You know,
okay.
so they've always helped and tried to help.
Yes.
And they've also had, a membership kind of go down or whatever
Sure.
with all these changes and all that kind of stuff. I tried to help out with that, trying to see if we could, regrow it or whatever.
Okay,
So
excellent.
That's why this crypto idea is kind of cool, I guess. But,
Yes. And let's tell them what today's show is talking about. It's crypto. The reason why I wanted to do this show, I definitely want to do things that let people know what's going on in the world. If you're not paying attention specifically to crypto, you could miss out, and we were just talking, there's some stigma to crypto, it's a scam. And let's be honest, there are plenty of scam cryptos, but then there's some really legitimate ones that you should learn about. But before we even get into those specific ones, what got you into crypto?
I had an advisor, and I was just trying to retire. I'm semi-retired now, I call it.
Okay.
But I really didn't have a way to do it, and I found an advisor, and it was kind of funny because he does YouTube channel
Okay.
where
Okay.
he was living in Thailand, and he used to be a big shooter, and
Yeah.
now he's telling people what to get into. He lives in Thailand, and he's your mentor,
Okay. Okay.
and
Very
that's
cool.
how I started.
Excellent. Excellent.
And I had to go by what he said,
Yes.
and he was into little ones.
Okay.
And a
Yeah.
couple of them did well. I was like, wow, it was crazy. And then I moved to Naples, actually. I have a home on Ford Lake.
That's awesome.
I had a new home here on Ford Lake I
Yeah.
built, and that guy really helped me out a lot.
Okay.
Everything changed. I went to Naples, and that's how my little crypto. A lot of people do that, maybe a sudden change or whatever.
100%. Yeah. And for me, I got into it during COVID when there was extra time, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to learn this thing. I'm going to learn as much about crypto that I can. And, I guess it starts from, everybody talks about Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is an excellent coin. Let's start there. So for me, my personal take on Bitcoin, I probably won't ever hold Bitcoin unless it tanks. And the reason why, for me, if I do the math, let's say you had $1,000, right? And you get to Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin at right now? Like 123 or something like that?
Yes.
Which
Yep.
is all-time high.
Yes.
Which is great. Which is, if we got it years ago, we wouldn't even be here. We'd probably be in Thailand with your guy having this podcast.
Yeah.
But if I have $1,000 and I put it into Bitcoin, for me to double my money, Bitcoin will have to go to $226,000. Now, if I get into a XRP or a XLM, let's say XRP is currently, I mean, I've been a little bit out the game, but it's like 240 or something like
Yeah.
that. But if I put but that thousand
340.
340,
Well,
I need to check my
yeah,
account.
yeah, you're doing good, buddy.
Yeah, but if I put $1,000 into that and it doubles, which and it goes to let's say $5 or something like that. So what is the likelihood that XRP will hit $5 prior to Bitcoin hitting 226? Which one will hit there first for me to double my money? That's how I tend to look at it. What's your take on that situation?
Well, it's good to have an advisor because it's pretty volatile.
It is.
It's sort of addicting,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
you got to
it
kind
can
of
be.
watch that. It's
Yes.
like almost like gambling a little bit.
Yes.
I give my guy the thing. I don't pay any
Okay,
attention to
okay.
it, and I hope it does good.
Okay.
Because that stuff is volatile.
It is. It
And
is.
the little ones are really harder.
Yeah.
And it's a new category that has come along that has changed a lot of things.
Mhm.
And even when I got into it, it did well at first. But Bitcoin's the one that's done really well. But all the little ones have stayed down for 3 years.
Yes, and to give some context to that. So as we talk about Bitcoin versus the little ones, in the industry, this is those are altcoins. So they're like alternative to Bitcoin. So if you're, and as you mentioned, Jerry, you have to be really careful with the smaller coins. In everything you do your research, and Cam, don't forget to put on there, this is not financial advice, etc.,
Yes.
etc. But you have to do your research. Speaking of some little ones or altcoins, what are some of the ones that you've played around with?
Well, it's interesting now that Trump signed the new Stablecoin Act.
And that
okay?
was yesterday, you were saying?
yesterday.
Okay.
And
So can you tell them what that is?
the stable coins are like the dollar now,
Mhm.
and they are going to be like the digital coin that's like a dollar, whereas the regular dollars will still be in the bank, I guess,
Mhm.
but supposedly it's not a CBDC coin,
Right.
which is something that Trump does not like.
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
so hopefully that's the case too, because whatever. So that's going to be interesting how that plays out. 'Cause
Yes.
it didn't really make it through the Senate.
Okay, exactly.
Um,
And one other note about stable coins, the other important part of stable coins is that they're stable. And so as you're mentioning, as we're transitioning into digital dollars, you need a stable coin in order to do the transactions. So let's use XRP and XLM. If you look into XRP are for transitions between institutions, banks, things of that nature. If I wanted to send money through a bank or something like that, XRP is working to be the go-to for that. Now, XLM, who actually used to work for XRP, theirs is more individuals. If I wanted to send money to you in Thailand, and I want it to be faster and cheaper than what we're currently doing now, that's where XLM will come into place. But again, they have to be paired with stable coins because let's say, as you said, as volatile as they are, let's say I'm transitioning $100 to you, and by the time it transitions, the stable coin has tanked, or I mean not stable, but the other coin XRP or XLM has tanked, then that changes that transaction. So that's one area that stable coins are so significant.
yeah, that coin, the XRP, will transition in anywhere from 1 to 3 seconds all over the world.
Yes, for how much? Like pennies, right?
Yes,
Yes,
and that is like the new standard, let's say.
absolutely, absolutely.
And it will be I think it's been announced that way. I think it's the
Yes.
main one.
Yes,
Not
100%.
totally announced.
Yeah.
It's
People who are
always
paying
been
attention.
suspected, though.
Yeah, exactly.
And
What percentage did you say are crypto holders right now?
right now, I think it's like 9% of people. That's it.
Yes.
Are actually have the cryptos,
Yes.
and it's all still like new.
Yeah, it is.
phasing it in.
Yes.
Even
Yes.
Trump didn't like it.
Mhm.
Years ago he
Mhm.
said, "I don't want nothing to do with it."
Sure.
And now he's all over it.
He's all he wants to be the crypto president.
Yes.
Yes. So and again, do your research and everything, and him and I was talking today. The beautiful thing about this time is you can have different political views, you can have different views on different things, but you can still come down together with a common goal. And our common goal right now is really to inform more people about crypto, share our experience, and go from there. What else is has been your experience with crypto?
Okay, well, we had a good talk when I first met you.
Yes.
I saw you guys out there 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
it was cool. I just told you I really liked it. And then when we started talking, I said, oh, are you guys Christian?
Yes.
And I
Yes.
hear, yes, we are.
Yes,
I'm
we are.
like, oh, what a great thing.
Our
I mean,
conversation with you
about
another
time.
level.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, secretly I was like, that's my deal breaker.
Okay, sure.
Maybe
sure.
you don't want to hear what I. That's what we have in common.
Yes.
Now we're not
Yes.
going to talk everything in common that
Absolutely.
we got or whatever.
Yes.
But having said that, I was like, oh, I can maybe do a podcast and yeah, you can talk about how difficult that was to actually try and buy these things.
Yes.
I did it 3 years ago and was scared to death.
I
I mean, like, a lot of people still are.
They are.
Okay?
You mean to
You know,
actually purchase these? Yeah.
Yeah, because it's the whole idea that it's that last system we don't like that, and maybe it is, but maybe
Right.
not for another 4 or 5 years.
Absolutely.
Like
Absolutely.
when I listen to people, like I listen to this guy Bo Pull, and he does a great job of using the Bible, and I've learned a lot
Mhm.
from. He uses all different chapters or whatever to address this, and,
Yeah.
and I see the podcasts all the time.
Mhm.
And that guy in Thailand, same thing. They just say that it's okay or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that if I wasn't for those, I wouldn't have done it, or I wouldn't have been in it or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just-
100%.
There's definitely a not good part of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's talk about that briefly.
Okay, good.
So, as you know, and oh my God, I was, I guess, what was that? Was it Doge or I think it was Doge? When Robinhood had that whole issue that they stopped it and nobody could buy or sell, and was it Doge or was that GameStop or was it both at the time?
Both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was one of those people, I went crazy. Like I was like watching my money just go through the roof, and then I'm like, okay, cool, I'm gonna sell. Then I couldn't sell, So, and I just, we got through all that. That was, I think, around COVID time and everything too. But basically, people are becoming like their own brokers, which why we say you have to do your research. But with that, you can get one of the apps. I actually like Uphold. There's Coinbase, and number of other ones that you could get. But and then if you really want to dive into this, you could get on like Uniswap. Have you used that one yet?
No, not that one.
Okay, and so that allows you to get coins before they get on the different platforms. But they call them swaps because you can only swap one thing for another thing. So if a coin comes out and it was built on the Ethereum blockchain, then you can go to Uniswap, which only deals with Ethereum-based coins, and you can swap Ethereum for that coin. So that'll get you kind of in the game before it gets to a Coinbase or something like that. But again, people are kind of moving away. And you asked me the other day about Solana coins because people are getting away from Ethereum coins because of the gas fees. And so a lot of people are jumping into Solana, which we talked the other day about how XLM was blowing up. Was it 25% in a day?
Mm-hmm.
And that's because they made the announcement that people will be able to start doing contracts on it like they do with Ethereum and all that. And then so with that, once you do figure out how you're going to buy, how do you store yours? Do you...
Well, the way that I started or whatever, or the main hub that most people are going to do now is to go to Coinbase, which is like the bank. Okay, so you go to your bank, you send them 5,000 or whatever, it's in your Coinbase account. Okay, so now your Coinbase, usually if you want to buy something else, you have to buy Bitcoin first.
Yes.
So that's like the transferring agent, and then you can take that Bitcoin and shop it into one of your little private wallets.
Absolutely, yes.
Because now our wallets are going to be digital. Okay.
Yes.
So they're not in your pocket.
Exactly.
But the only one that holds the key to those is you.
Yes.
So you're gonna have to know your 12-word key phrase to get in that thing.
Did you hear about the guy that had he got Bitcoin really early, and it was millions in there, and then he lost his keys, his keywords.
It's happened. Everybody that's tried it for a little while probably has lost something or whatever. It's not. It's all new, just like we're doing.
Yes,
it's
that's
just
right.
all new, right?
Yes, yeah. But that's why we have these conversations.
Yes.
Yeah. But one thing that I like to do too. So what people definitely advise you not to do is to leave them in like your where you bought it. Let's say you bought it in Robinhood. You don't want to leave it in there because you're really susceptible of it being hacked. Digital wallets are more safe than exchange wallets, but even digital wallets aren't the safest. The thing that you really want to get, and I usually go with Ledger or something like that, is the cold wallets. So, you transfer your things onto a cold wallet, you ship it off somewhere, put it up, and then nobody can hack into that. So that's that might be down the line. If you're just getting started, getting yours into a digital wallet will probably be the best direction.
The guy that I used to listen to, this Dave's for Cryptos. He's the one on Thailand, the island.
Okay.
He started this 3-4 years ago.
Yes.
And he recommended Atomic Wallet.
Ooh, yeah.
So that one is the one where you go from Coinbase, Bitcoin over to Atomic Wallet. Okay.
Nice.
An Atomic Wallet is just on your phone. It doesn't go anywhere.
Okay.
And you get your six number thing code to get in.
Okay.
And then you have your 12-word seed phrase to get it started.
Yes.
But then it's on that wallet and it works.
Okay.
That was the other scary thing.
Yeah.
When you actually take like $500 and you send it.
Oh yeah. You gotta hope that it went to the right place. Yeah. I've been there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then,
sometimes I'll do like a little amount just to test it.
Yeah.
And then do whatever I'm gonna do.
We're all used. Oh, jokes on me. I'm getting ripped off.
Right.
But bang, you got to hit it, and then it doesn't show up for a while. And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden, maybe it does. Okay,
Yeah.
so, but the point is that these things that'll be on our wallet, that'll have our account, it'll be buy, send, and receive.
Yes.
So it'll be like if I owe you $500, I hit send.
Yeah.
All I need is your code,
Okay.
and bang, it would show up in less than like 3 seconds.
That's awesome.
So that's going to be the new way. I think they do it in China already, but it is a little nerve-wracking for us.
Yeah, 100%.
But it's coming though. It's just got announced. Like,
that I got to get up on that. I was going to pull this out. So what we're talking about is this is fiat money, and we're in the age that fiat money is really going to be non-existent. I mean, how often do we carry dollar bills around anyhow? And one thing that always struck me on the back of this or the front of this, where basically it says it's a promissory note, and it's backed by gold or whatever this is. It's not going to be around forever. So the goal is to be ahead of the game and not trying to play catch up. For me, it's all about retirement, as you talked about. It's about generational wealth, being able to have stuff for the kids. When they 20 years down the line, imagine if you were able, and people always make this reference, but imagine if you were able to buy stock in all the .coms when they first came out. That's kind of like where we are in the crypto world still. And people were talking about when the internet came initially, that it was going to be short-lived, and look where we are now with it. So this digital money, this crypto money is like that. And one thing, as you had talked about, and you can share, if you will, some of the things that the White House and Trump has been doing in the crypto space with the new commissions. I know there's a whole crypto commission now, and it's just so. Can you fill us in and kind of what some things that are going on in the White House that relates to crypto?
Sure, and it all started, like you said, with that dollar bill. In 1972, we got off the gold and silver standard.
Yes.
Until then, we were always on gold and silver for our money.
Yes.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
So
it was backed by gold and silver. Is that what?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
And then it was removed, and it became like the Federal Reserve.
Yes.
Which is controversial or whatever. They're just a private corporation.
Where is the gold?
Yeah. That's that Powell guy. No one likes anymore. He's holding the interest rates up, and he's for the old system or whatever. But once we went on Federal Reserve, it was not gold and silver backed anymore, and that allowed them to jack the debt up, which is so high now he couldn't pay it back.
How many trillions is it?
But there was a nice little move they made. You know what I mean? Like, and so now, you know, that's kind of the debate too. Is if we soon they say we will go back to gold and silver, which is God's money. You know what I mean? Like it's had the little run up, but it's probably going to do a lot more and hopefully be attached to those later, which makes it make sense, you know? And that's like a lot of the guys are just gold and silver guys, you know, and they that's God's money and they're okay with that. Get away from that stuff, you know? So that's always been the push or whatever. I think that guy Rand Paul, in the government was always been for that, but now it got signed yesterday. So what that means is that all these different commissions are slowly pushing it through in different areas. And they're making it. I think there's 3 phases where they're all, you know, signed in now. You know, and that means that it's ready to go. But it's dollar to digital dollar is how Trump's explaining it, which is kind of weird. I thought they were going to switch it over just to the digital dollar. So, like, how can you have $2 out of one? It must be head to head, or whatever.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But I think they have, in crypto, they got to get it into the Stablecoins in order to send them out, like you said. Because then your dollar would go down. But they also have been talking about it being gold and silver backed. You know. But that might not come now. It might come later.
And crypto is still getting its footing, but you know the thing is like we were saying, like, so imagine people in DC, not necessarily the White House, but people that are listening to these bills being passed. You don't think they're buying? Of course they're buying.
Oh yeah,
you
even
know,
Trump was.
I'm sure. And why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't we? So all we're saying to you guys is look into it more. If you have questions, we can point you in directions that we legally are allowed to point you in without being advisors. But you know, so that's that. Did you have things that you wanted to share that you brought into?
And like also just like what you just said with the YouTube, you know, when you Google these things everywhere from how do I do this? It's all pretty easy, you know? And then any questions you got, they all pretty much come up, you know?
All you got to do is to research.
It's very hard to find an advisor though. You know, which is the best way because otherwise you're on your own and it's hard.
It is.
Like I had a guy or whatever, and I don't try not to whatever to it. You know what I mean? But as for I think it's a couple of months away from being implemented though. You know what I mean? Or something. But it's definitely all signed in. So now you have what we call alt season run. That might happen.
And I like alt season.
So that's where all us little guys maybe or whatever get. I mean, the stuff I had did good and then it crashed. I mean, that's little stuff's been sitting there for a long time.
And it's time for them. So, and as he mentioned, altcoins, as we talked about what they are. So alt season is when Bitcoin kind of stabilizes a little bit. Right now is at its all-time high. Then the altcoins, the other smaller coins, tend to have a run. So basically people will pour money into those smaller coins.
Yes. And that's what's hopefully starting now. It already has started. And then the transfer of that is what's happening where it's happened before. And these are what the advisors always say. Okay, Bitcoin has its run to about 125. It happened exactly like the guy I listened to said or whatever. You know? And then Ethereum, which is the secondary one, which is the key to all the small ones, then comes up when Bitcoin's dominance goes down. And that's exactly what just happened. Okay, so now all the little ones are like, hey, I want to play. You know? So they're starting to come up a little bit. These things got pelted. They're down like, you know, no joke, 95%.
Well, buy the dip, like they said. Buy the dip.
So, I mean, like a lot of the little guys, you get hurt playing this thing.
You do.
Or whatever. You got to be patient.
Like they say, never put in more than you can afford to lose.
Yes. And like play money or whatever.
Exactly.
But that's just part of the thing. But like, you know, I've always, like when I moved down to Florida in Naples there, for a little while, I started a corporation. And I did it because I was in Kiwanis. I actually started a project where I tried to get, like, you know, more involvement in the community. You know, and they actually gave me $1,300, and I tried to have an event like what we're doing. We had a comedian and some people showed up.
Very cool.
But we couldn't get the older people, younger people to
Yeah.
mesh along. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
okay,
Or we
okay.
did, or everybody's friendly, but then they just come and go their own ways.
Exactly,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Each group's into their own thing.
Yeah.
Just like all of our communities have gotten.
Right.
You know.
Right. Absolutely.
So sometimes with this, it becomes, how could maybe crypto, have events or whatever where everybody's interested,
Right.
for their own reasons,
Right. Right.
and like
Absolutely.
the one thing we found in doing this in Kiwanis that we weren't able to do, but we would, would be the solution or whatever,
Mhm.
would be to have an event for like we used to do with Kiwanis, an hour and a half long.
Yeah.
Where I notice you guys do food.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
like
we
food
used to have-
trucks and things of that nature too.
Yeah, food, and then you have like a networking. You get to know,
Absolutely.
and you
Yeah.
teach everybody.
Yeah.
Just say hi to somebody.
Yeah, yes.
Ask them where they're from, what
Yeah.
they do,
Yeah.
or where they go to school.
You'd be surprised at the
especially
common ground.
if you could mix the things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
For 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, they just call it a meet and greet.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
But the kids, if they were to come, hopefully, they could be in charge of the entertainment.
Yeah.
You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? Like
yeah.
they could play, they could show their videos or whatever, and have like the open mic night type of thing.
Absolutely.
Give
yeah.
them, and everybody cheers for them when they go out there.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean?
Yeah, we
There's no
support
more.
each other.
We're
yeah.
not professionals, or
Right,
like
right.
me and you just starting out too, or whatever. But I mean, like I'm just saying, or I am anyway.
Yeah.
But like the point is that if someone's got a talent, put them up there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And have
Yeah.
everyone cheer for them.
Yeah.
And then I had kind of like developed the idea too. That what the corporation I started, I bought shares for it.
Okay. Okay.
So
Excellent.
there's,
Yeah.
and then you learn all this stuff.
Yes,
But
you do.
Once
by
I started
doing it. Yeah.
so I'm allocated through LegalZoom for like
Okay.
777,777 shares.
Okay. Because
So
the number of completion in the Bible. Yeah.
Okay, so we talk
Yeah.
there's some
yeah.
Bible stuff that mixes in with this, which
Yeah.
is great
Yes.
because we want us to be a community.
For sure.
As a matter of fact, breaking that is not what you wanted.
That's right.
So
yeah.
it's sort of like there's hopefully good that comes out of it. You know
it
what I
sounds like it. And then we're
And-
down to do that event in the Ohana Lounge. So sign us up and you guys come on out. It sounds like it's going to be awesome.
Okay, I mean that'd be a way to start a format, I guess.
Yes.
And
yes.
that's the point. No one's done this before. It's just for fun.
Yes.
You know, and then if you say that, you can also say, which was the idea, that maybe the older people might want to buy some stock.
Sure.
You know what I
Sure.
mean? Or whatever you call it, crypto or whatever.
Mhm,
Like
mhm.
it's funded or whatever, and you can also give some of that out as gifts.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So with so
absolutely.
many that I had, I was the president.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I never formalized it because it cost $350,000 in the old days
Oh,
to
I'm
do
sure.
that. Okay.
I'm sure. Yeah.
But now you can do it for $2
Yeah, right.
through Solana.
Yeah.
I haven't
yeah.
done it yet.
Yeah.
But 3 years ago when I
Yeah.
started this, I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I put money in, believe me.
Joe, I'm sure.
And like,
yeah.
I just couldn't go any further. So
Yeah,
I legalized it and everything.
That's awesome. And I think I
But-
shared with you that I create coins and white
Yes.
papers and things of that nature. So there's definitely some great synergy there.
That's what might be interesting because you have to create a white page like you can do
Yeah, yeah.
and present it legally.
Yeah.
It's approved legally and it's got shares, but making them real is the hard part.
For sure.
I mean,
For
like
sure.
it's a private company with shares, but where do you redeem them or what are they worth?
Right.
But
Right.
with that many of them, though, maybe I think I told like 10 or 14 people that helped me, you get 1,000 a share if it ever works.
Right, right.
If this really
Mhm.
takes off.
Mhm. For sure.
And then the idea was is if you get one spot, or if it were to work somewhere,
Yeah.
like Ypsilanti, which
Mhm.
I think should be number one.
Well, for sure.
So now
for
we
sure.
get on that bandwagon. I'm gonna run. But like then it could go other places like this.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like
Absolutely. Yeah,
because
have a
you
test
don't have
market.
community working in an area where other people will show up anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
So
yeah.
so what are your tools? You got music and you've got the other part is that once you get money, you can help people there.
That's
I mean,
right,
We
that's
used to
right.
call them projects.
Yeah.
We used to do projects.
Mhm.
So the
Mhm.
people there can go out and let's say you have someone that needs their car fixed.
That's right.
And they're
Yeah.
out. They're
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Give them $350. That's a
Exactly.
project.
Yes.
It's done because there's a fund for it.
Absolutely.
That's community service.
Yes.
And that's
Yes.
the whole point. Community service is not telling someone go out on the highway and pick up all those cans.
Yeah. Exactly.
It
yeah.
changes the game.
Right.
It's like, no, this
100%.
is positive.
Yes.
It's a company.
Yes.
It has value.
I like that,
It,
yeah.
it's not punishment. It's as a matter of fact, you never know what could happen. That in terms of building these groups and people, where it come in very handy
Right.
for when a big problem could hit.
Exactly.
Like
And
if-
they will have more infrastructure and things of that nature. Like I'm talking about personal infrastructure. And yeah, no, I'm with you 100%. I think I share with you. I'm working on a couple projects, which I'll share with you more. But I think we're getting notification that we're hitting our time. Is there anything that you want to, closing remarks you would like to share with the viewers?
That was most of what I shared, I guess.
Okay.
I had some fun with it when I started the community idea, though.
Okay.
Like we had, I made shirts.
Nice.
I just called it Christmas 360 Kiwanis.
Okay.
Kiwanis Christmas 365.
Awesome.
It's got a
Very good. That's
YouTube
nice
channel.
shirt. Yeah.
Under Kiwanis Xmas 365.
Okay. Excellent.
And then it's got this guy here. He was the only one I could find because I do NFTs too.
Okay,
Like
nice.
artwork, you know.
We might have to talk about that next time.
This
but that's
guy
awesome.
is U.S. government approved.
Okay.
I have the
okay.
logo for him.
Awesome.
So I got this far, but that's all I did with it.
Hey, that's a lot further than other people
And
have gone with.
When I met you, who knows? In God's will, maybe it was time. And
For
then-
sure. For sure.
That's why I said, like, you said, are you a Christian? And you're like,
Yeah.
yes. I'm like, oh, because I don't want this mark. We're in crypto and it sucks and all this. I mean, I
Right,
got through
right.
all that.
Yeah,
or whatever.
100%.
Other people are going to have to too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's coming. I mean,
It's here.
I'm,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
no
here.
longer the goofball talking about
Right,
it. Or whatever.
right, yeah.
I mean, like,
And that's why when we were talking, I was like, he's speaking my language. I got to have him on the show. So, well, you guys heard it first here. Thank you for tuning in again for another episode of What's Up, Ypsi. We will see you next time. Thank you very much, Jerry, for coming. And we look forward to doing your event at the Ohana Lounge.
thanks for being the Ypsi leader.
Oh, well, I don't know if I
Hey.
earned that title just
All
yet,
right.
but thank you.
All right.
All right.